Different states pass updated guidelines to their money transmission laws. Sometimes they deem it so that we have to apply for a state license. Since there's 50 states here in the U.S., that could be a lot of different licenses. Thankfully, majority do not have these restrictions, but the ones that do, a lot of them have heavy consumer protection laws. We do follow those. Sometimes it can be a negative experience to the customer, but ultimately the regulators are trying to protect people from getting scammed or losing a lot of money on certain investment vehicles. We constantly communicate with regulators to make sure that we're adhering to their laws. At a federal level, we're always looking at new FinCEN guidelines, and I think we do a really good job at that. Sometimes there can be times where it's unavoidable if they make a change relatively quickly and we're not prepared. But we always seem to land on our feet. I think that having state regulations for cryptocurrency and money transmission has really stifled the financial technology sector here in the United States. Generally speaking, I do like when states have their own laws and regulations, but in this case, I think it's too complex unnecessarily. I think that there should just be federal guidelines and statutes for this to make it simple for companies to grow in this space and not be bogged down by different regulations in different states. It's highly complex to navigate all of these different requirements when they vary wildly. So I believe that federal guidelines as opposed to state guidelines would provide regulatory clarity for the industry, financial technology companies, cryptocurrency companies here in the U.S., to allow them to have more clear framework, as well as provide the necessary consumer protection guidelines in order to safeguard cryptocurrency, as well as make sure it's safe and a good product for the consumer. Right now, the differing state laws can be very confusing and hard to navigate, which bogs down different companies. They can also make mistakes. Things aren't really generally clear, and they would have to have a very large team in order to navigate all of those different changes, unless, of course, they have a great team like Unbank, which, we're obsessed with these types of things. I would ease regulation. I think that deregulation wouldn't really work, and I think that is a dream of a lot of people, but in actuality would just never happen. It's a hypothetical, but easing the regulation would definitely be helpful. We can't really be bogged down and focus on all of these new state laws. It's really a negative for customers as well as Unbank as a whole. Yeah, so advice that I'd give Donald Trump in regards to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin specifically is meet with the right people. You can be easily dissuaded into creating shitcoins and different avenues like that. I would focus generally on Bitcoin and proven technologies, as opposed to some of these experimental technologies that or shitcoins that are susceptible to being hacked. They relatively provide very minimal value to consumers. Focusing on the basics in a short term will just simplify and help you to better navigate cryptocurrency here in the US. I do think the US should hold Bitcoin. I think El Salvador has done something great over there. And I think it would be wise for Donald Trump and the US to follow in El Salvador's footsteps. If I met with Elon Musk, I'm not sure I would be able to get anything through to him. But if I was able to get through to him, I would tell him that he needs to, I don't think Doge would be able to do anything about state regulators, but if they impose some federal guidelines to make money transmission laws to only exist at the federal level, which I don't think they can do, but it would be great if that could be something that they could help with. They're mostly focused on efficiency, but I will say that these state regulations on money transmission are incredibly inefficient, even though they're at the state level, and I don't think Doge can meddle with state regulations. It would be, really nice if they somehow could. Absolutely. I think all companies should hold Bitcoin on the balance sheet if they, want to stay in business and provide success for the company, as well as the employees and team that work for them. I think it's essential for the survival of most companies. If they can put a portion of their treasury in Bitcoin, I think they would be wise to do so, and they would help secure the security and longevity of the company for many more years to come. I believe from my calculations, it's around, I want to say it's $27,000. 17. I'm sorry. Well, soon it'll be 27, so I'm not that far off.